Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon to all the distinguished guests and all the participants who have flown into the country, Maldives. Welcome to the sunny side of life. My name is Ijaz, and I'm a travel writer, a blogger, and a traveler. Today I'm here to talk about the Maldivian travel trends and how it has transformed. This afternoon, I will also be talking about where we started, some of the limitations and difficulties we have had then. I will also look at how the travel landscape has changed, some places that we Maldivians travel now. I will also be talking about the Maldivian passport and why we should continue the show of traveling. Although the first commercial airline, Air Ceylon, that came to the Maldives in 1962, only a handful of Maldivians were able to travel out of country then. They were mainly traveling on government trips and foreign-funded educational scholarships. And until the first tourist resort, which opened in 1972, slowly this trend changed. There was a new industry, the tourism industry. This also opened opportunities for Maldivians to start leisure and trade travel, in addition to the trips that they did for medical treatments and educational scholarships. However, we also have had some difficulties and challenges then, because we had very limited airlines that operated into the country then. This was right after Air Ceylon. Also, we had difficulties with the air routes that these airlines that operated into the country. Back then, there were also very limited airfares, and they were very expensive. Back then, there were no published airfares for flights between Malé and Sri Lanka, over 12 different fares. So it was very challenging back then. We also didn't have low-cost carriers back then, so the situation was very difficult back then. We will also look at how this changed, and over the next 2 decades, tourism grew rapidly. There were more resorts coming up. There were more airlines that came into the country. This also resulted in Maldives transforming into a postcard picture-perfect tourist destination. It also paved a lot of, it actually inspired a lot of Maldivians then to travel outside country on the very airlines that operated into the country at that time. The tourism took a very drastic turn, and Maldivians were able to travel towards 90s, when we also had access to the internet. We were able to read about beautiful travel destinations. In fact, today, Maldivians are able to showcase their local talent in Middle East music festivals. Maldivians are able to take part in adventure expeditions at Nepal, climbing the Mount Everest base camp. Maldivians are also able to take part in other adventure travel expeditions across Europe, Africa, Americas. Even honeymooners are able to travel to Santorino. Maldivians have changed the way they have traveled. Going to the next slide, I think a lot of you are familiar with this quote. It's a very beautiful quote. I'd rather have a passport full of stamps than a house full of stuff. Anyone familiar with this quote? Yes. Yeah. Talking about passports, I think the Maldivian passport is actually much more stronger than what you actually thought or imagined about it. Because if we really think about it, we are able to travel to 75 countries and territories with the Maldivian passport. This means with these 75 countries and territories, we are able to get visa, free access and on-arrival visa. So imagine how many cities could be and how many places there could be in these 75 territories and countries for us to explore and travel. Not to forget that the Maldivian passport also ranks at number 51 on the passport index. This is actually from the Hollywood movie No Escape, starring Owen Wilson. What happens in the movie is, in this scene particularly, is he and his family migrates from US to Thailand. He gets, his work relocates him to Thailand. So shortly after he arrives to the hotel with his family, he goes out to get some stuff, and then he gets stuck in between a rebellion, that's a protest between the Thai police and civilians. So the whole point is, if you are, this is actually some words of encouragement for the Maldivians before planning travel. If you are actually planning to travel to a new place, it is always important for you to check the situation in the place that you are intending to travel to. You definitely will not want to travel into a war zone, but sometimes it's okay for you to get lost, because if you are not lost, you are not much of an explorer. It's another beautiful quote by John Perry Barlow. Before we conclude, I think the Maldivians are right now doing a very good job on social media, because they keep watching a lot of incredible travel videos from bloggers and social media influencers. So what I think is you should keep continuing and traveling and exploring to new places, because traveling is not about how fast you get from one place to the other. It's about how you get blended into a country that you are arriving and traveling into. It's about how much you get to learn about the food at a country that you are traveling to, a few words in the language of the country that you are traveling to. It's about learning about the places, the heritage and culture of the country you are visiting to. So meeting people, making new friends. So I think Maldivians are very much inspired today, and I think Maldivians should not stop, and they should continue traveling. I hope we will be able to continue this next year as well, and looking forward for Maldivian bloggers' presence in the future. Thank you.